Welcome back to GameVault HQ. Today we're diving into something that promises to be quite the ride, a chilling fusion of folklore and survival that will leave you looking over your shoulder. Let's take a look at the Axis Unseen, a game that brings an unexpected twist to hunting, set in a world filled with danger, mystery, and heavy metal vibes. The Axis Unseen is a game that strikes you immediately with its atmosphere. Developed by the solo developer Nate Purkeypile, who has worked on major titles like Fallout and Skyrim, this project feels like a love letter to fans of supernatural thrillers and survival games. The premise is simple but effective. You're a hunter, but not the only one in the woods. The forest is full of otherworldly creatures, and the game's entire aesthetic feeds into a heavy, unsettling feeling that keeps you on edge. The visuals are where the game really starts to set itself apart. The Axis Unseen combines a haunting landscape with a stark, heavy metal-inspired art style. The environments are not polished in the hyper-realistic sense. Instead, they have a raw, atmospheric quality that drags you into this eerie world. You can tell the developer poured their creativity into every tree, every distant mountain, and every thick fog that rolls in, which really helps sell the setting. The visuals work perfectly with the soundtrack, which features none other than Clifford Meyer from the post-metal band ISIS, to keep the player constantly teetering between fascination and dread. Gameplay-wise, the Axis Unseen delivers an experience that's both familiar and new. At its core, it's a first-person hunting game, but it's not about just tracking ordinary deer or elk. No, the creatures here are nightmarish, pulled from folklore, and definitely not afraid to hunt you right back. The game provides you with a bow and arrows, but these aren't your standard hunting tools. They can be enhanced with elemental powers, which really comes in handy when you're being stalked by something more monstrous than mundane. The hunting mechanics have an interesting rhythm that keeps things engaging. Instead of focusing on traditional FPS action, the Axis Unseen encourages patience and a sense of vulnerability. There's this nerve-wracking moment when you see your prey, or when something sees you, and your pulse picks up as you realize you're no longer the hunter. It reminds me a little of the stealth gameplay in Hunt Showdown, where your environment is as much a threat as the creatures you encounter. What really impressed me was how the game avoids becoming repetitive. Purkeypile has managed to design an open world that's both expansive and filled with secrets. You aren't just wandering around a big empty forest. There are landmarks, clues, and surprises hidden throughout. The creatures you hunt aren't merely waiting to be found either. They have behavior patterns, making each hunt a unique experience. The unpredictability means you'll often find yourself switching between predator and prey as you explore deeper into this mystical wilderness. Another aspect worth mentioning is the lore. The Axis Unseen leans heavily into myths and folklore, drawing from sources that give it a distinct, old-world horror flavor. There are no spoon-fed narratives here. The story unfolds organically as you discover strange symbols, mysterious ruins, and remnants of those who might have been here before you. This sense of discovery adds depth to the game, making you feel like you're not just playing, but unraveling a mystery that transcends time. One of the standout features is the audio design, not just the soundtrack but also the ambient sounds of the environment. The game uses audio cues in such a clever way that you'll often be listening more than looking, trying to discern whether that rustling noise was just the wind or something much worse. Combine that with the atmospheric metal soundtrack and it creates this perfect storm of tension that keeps your adrenaline pumping throughout. But it's not all flawless. The Axis Unseen has a few rough edges that might not sit well with everyone. The game can feel a bit unforgiving, especially if you're the type of player who likes a clear sense of direction. There are moments when you're simply lost in the woods, trying to figure out what to do next. For some, this can be thrilling, adding to the immersion. For others, it can be frustrating. The game also lacks a detailed tutorial, which makes the learning curve steeper than in more mainstream survival games. I wouldn't say these are deal breakers, but they might require a bit of patience. Technical performance is another area worth discussing. Some reviewers have pointed out issues with frame rate stability, even on systems that surpass the recommended specifications. the game may struggle to maintain a consistent frame rate, sometimes dipping below 30 FPS unless settings are lowered. Bugs are also present, ranging from creatures getting stuck in the environment to arrows behaving unpredictably, which can detract from the immersion, especially during more intense encounters. While these issues aren't game-breaking, they are something to keep in mind, and it's hoped that future updates will address them. I do want to highlight the fact that the Axis Unseen doesn't hold your hand. This is a game for those who enjoy getting lost in an atmosphere, who find thrill in the tension of being hunted, and who appreciate a bit of rawness in their gaming experience. If you prefer your games polished and guiding you with markers and hints, this might not be the best match for you. But if you're someone who loves a good dose of folklore, a haunting soundtrack, and the idea of being both predator and prey, the Axis Unseen offers something genuinely unique. So what's the final verdict? The Axis Unseen is a remarkable mix of chilling atmosphere, unique hunting mechanics, and an audio-visual experience that stays with you. It may not be perfect, but the imperfections are part of what gives it character. A bit like the feeling you get when playing an ambitious indie project that knows exactly what it wants to be. We give the Axis Unseen an 8 out of 10. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you ready to step into the forest and face the unknown? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews just like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.